intro, or we're just going
No,
live?
we're going.
We're just going live. We're just raw dogging it this time around, I guess. Yeah, this is going to be a kind of off the cuff mini episode, special edition. Boom, just insert cool intro here. Now, I am eating cheesy tuna pasta because my money is gone. Now, why is my money gone? Because I went to Spookala, and we went to Spookala this weekend. We took a field trip.
Uh-huh.
We did.
I took a drive up the road.
Yeah. We drove through some interesting parts of Florida, that's for damn sure. But yeah, we know that there's a lot of buzz going on about Spookala and what was it like, and the guests, and and the drama, and this and that, and the bullshit. So we decided, you know what, this is the new kid on the block. Let's go check it out. We like to represent the fan collective, so we talked to a bunch of people while we were there, and we have our thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So first of all, you know what, let's just take it bit by bit. I mean, the venue. What did you guys think of the venue? Because this was very much different than a lot of the horror cons we're used to.
I like the venue. I think besides it being in the middle of a cow field, the venue itself, just going up, not the location of the venue itself.
Okay, fair. That's fair. There is a difference. Yes.
Very, very nice place. I mean, hell, the horse stables are AC'd. Like, come on, half the hotels we've been at before aren't even AC'd.
Like, the AC was very comfortable. That's very, very true. That's a big thing.
The expo building was beautiful. It was new. It was big, open, had wonderful AC, great fans going, enough bathrooms for everybody if they realized that you didn't just have the two. If you just took an extra 20 feet, there was more on the other side.
And for those of y'all that don't know, Mike is the bathroom master. So.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I went to the far one, and the far one had a shower in it, so if you had to take a shit, you could waffle stomp.
Because we're those classy people.
Yeah.
Cheesy tuna pasta and waffle stomp. There we go, the name of the episode. Well, you were saying.
Yeah, no, it's a really nice place. I really did like how it was one big open area. I didn't know how I was going to feel about that, hearing it, but once I got there and I saw it and I saw the way it was laid out and that, I liked it because it kept everyone in the same area the entire time. Didn't have to worry about, oh man, I need to go to ballroom whatever to go do this, then this is going on too, and I just want to walk by.
Allison. Allison's in the chat. So
like that was really nice. I like that a lot.
I do have to say, I personally don't like the location, but that's your mileage may vary. It's like you said, middle of a fucking cow field. But whatever. That's
really more of a horse field.
Well, no, it was originally a cow field.
Oh, okay.
That's why we say that it was literally in the middle of a cow field, because it was originally a cow pasture.
Oh, I see.
But no, the venue itself actually was, and hello Samantha. The venue itself actually, Mike is absolutely right. They utilized the space the best they could. I mean, everything can always be improved upon, but I did like at one end was the panel, at the other end were the celebrities, and everything was in between.
And you could literally stand in the middle, like the middle row of the middle of the place, and you turn one way and you could see all the way to the celebrities. You could turn the other way and you could watch the panel at the same time.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
I did. It made things super easy, so you don't have to figure stuff out. So, so I like that part, absolutely. And one of the things, speaking of which, when it comes to the venue that we really liked, and I know Boris said this a lot, the big screens that they had over the panel, so people that actually weren't right up front can actually see what was going on. That was really cool. And you could
be anywhere in that building because they had one at one end and one at the other end, and you could just look up at this giant screen and you could be like, oh shit, like I forgot this panel was going on. And you could go boop, go to the panel, or you could be standing there and like buying something and be like, okay, I'm not missing part of the panel because I can still see it.
Yeah, that was actually really good. And I like that they did that. And I wish more conventions did that, because that would utilize. How many of us have like ever been to a Q&A and we like end up, there's like 5 rows and then everybody stand up and you can't see shit.
I'm 5'4". I can't see shit standing up. So I absolutely love that. I love that so much.
Rob, do we have a picture of the the screen and the way that looked, because Allison said, she couldn't make it, unfortunately. So I mean, we are going to screen share some things. And that was one of the things that a lot of people that we met up with, all of them said the same thing, having a nice big screen where you could actually watch what was going on. Absolutely. Let's see, I'm not a fan of the Q&A area. Too much noise from behind the vendors. That's true. That is true. I don't know how that could be remedied. That's a good question, though. I mean, it's like because with the Q&A area, if you got the vendors right there, obviously there's a lot of noise because it's not partitioned off. So,
yeah.
But yeah, they had the big screen like that. That was really awesome.
And they had two of them.
Yes.
One on the front, one on either side of the show. So you could, depending on where you were, you could always see what was going on. And if there's a panel that you wanted to be at, you could, you walk about a football field length, and there you go.
Yeah, and I liked how they put at the bottom what panel it was too. So it wasn't just like, oh, okay, there's people up there, but I can't really make out who it is. I could say right there at the bottom, like, hey, it was the It panel, or it was the Halloween 3 panel. Like, it said exactly what panel it was, so you knew what to go for.
Yeah, that was actually really good, and that's a way that like panels have evolved. I don't know if they do that at MegaCon, but that's something I've not really seen. But it's like that would really be great if that got integrated into other cons. I did like that. I like that a lot. So, Rob, what about you? What did you think of the venue?
Well, first, real quick, wanted to say hello to Molly Zombie. So, hello. Yes. It was fun seeing Molly around at the show.
Absolutely. There's that bitch.
Hello.
I
made it.
Okay.
Yeah, we're talking about the location and venue right now.
Yeah, so I mean, okay, as far as the venue, overall, I liked it. My biggest gripe, like I said, I did like how the layout that of the space, I did like how they utilized it. My biggest gripe was that at the panels, the sound system wasn't set up well. I had a really hard time hearing what was going on.
Yeah, it sounded like you needed to be really close and were able to hear it.
Yeah, well, and they needed like some sort of backdrop or whatever to maybe bounce the sound off of. I don't know. I'm not an audio guy, so I couldn't tell you what would remedy this. I couldn't tell you if there is a remedy for it. But
I'm sure there's a workaround of some kind.
Yeah, and I mean we were sitting off to the side while Seth Green had his panel, and while Halloween, the cast Halloween 3 did theirs. For the record, Tom Skerritt, still such a good mustache.
Tom Atkins.
Tom Atkins, excuse me. Tom Skerritt has a good one too.
But yeah, Tom Atkins is an absolute national treasure. I love this guy.
So anyway, so that was unfortunate that the sound just wasn't great, and I guess that's just that's the building itself. There may not be anything you can do to fix that.
Yeah. So, but I mean, it was your opinion. What are we hearing here?
Sorry, people are talking in the background.
Oh, sorry. But that was really cool. The only complaint I have about the way things were set up is apparently there were a lot of photo op things, and which I love that. I love the opportunity that you have movie props and stuff like that you can take pictures with. I don't know if we have it on hand, but there was one that had the clown from Poltergeist. That was amazing. I think we might have had a picture with Boris and that clown, because that clown is everybody's fucking nightmare. But yeah,
it had like the whole thing set up. Like they even had like the movie theater seats for Gremlins and stuff like that.
Yeah, Rob, why don't you sit there?
Yeah.
I will put you in timeout, sir.
Yeah, Tammy Kane does all these great props, and there was I'm trying to remember the nun there. There was like a Halloween porch setup. There was all these different like really photo op setups, and those are something that I think a lot more cons need, just to keep everybody in the spirit of things. It was.
Well, they have a room for it, so when we're at the smaller hotels like DoubleTree and. Or for Spookies at DoubleTree and at Wyndham, there's not room for stuff like that. I mean, well, Wyndham does have in some of the hallways, but the bigger events they would.
Yeah, it's something I would like to see much more often, because I know a lot of these prop makers make all this stuff. It was really cool. It was something I liked, and something I wish they had placed better, because there was a few that I didn't even see until after. So. But Matt, what did you think about the location?
Other than it being an hour and a half too far away, in the middle of nowhere, and no signage to find it. It was a good venue, it's just in the wrong spot.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know necessarily where else, but that's not for me. But yeah, and the venue was really cool, so that was cool. Allison said Corey Feldman played there, like you said, Madison Square Garden in December. You know, I saw bits of Corey Feldman's, and that had to be an experience. That's
To put it lightly.
an experience, yeah. Spookala was awesome. You know, I will say it was a very enjoyable afternoon. I do think it was like a one-day con sort of thing, but everybody was friendly. The staff were really cool. They were really nice. And we actually, when we parked, they had someone going around in a golf cart bringing people to the event because my foot is still fucked. So they actually had someone in the golf cart that actually brought us straight to the front. So that was fucking cool.
On Sunday, it was like 98 degrees outside. Thank God they had a golf cart.
To that extent, the woman who picked us up even gave us her cell number so that, you know, if there wasn't somebody around, we could just hit her up and she would come grab us. Ultimately, when it came time to do that, she didn't write back until after that. After a few minutes of waiting, I said, screw it. And I went and got the car and brought it around. And then about 5 minutes later, she replied. But it was you know, it was still a nice gesture that she didn't even have to do in the first place, and she did reply. So
that was super nice. But absolutely, and you know, heard a Buc-ee's is going to go in the area now. That would be interesting. That would make the trek worth it because if you kind of
yeah, they are putting one up there.
Why doesn't Buc-ee's host conventions? You could just have a con in Buc-ee's.
Because you can already not get into the parking lot to begin with.
Buc-ee-Con featuring George Lowe.
Harry Busey.
No, wait. Buc-ee-Con could have the cast of Zombievers.
There you go.
Ladies and gentlemen, smartest man alive 10 years in a row.
Verbal trademark.
Verbal trademark.
Buc-ee-Con.
Yeah, well,
Thank
and
you,
very
Allison.
good.
I appreciate that. That's No, I'm going to pat myself on the back for about an hour and a half for that. I'm so proud.
But it was really cool. And, you know, and Perry did point out that it was nice to have something out near them because there really isn't a lot in that area. So, sure, I get that. Because, I mean, we can't really have much more. We got way too much out here to begin with. So.
I was going to say that the less than 30-minute drive was amazing.
But no White Castle on the way back.
No, but we got Bojangles.
We did get Bojangles. Bojangles. And that's, if you go out to that area, if you don't get Bojangles, then you need your head checked.
Then what's wrong with you?
Yeah, you need your head checked because fucking Bojangles. All right, so the guests. I was actually really surprised that the guests did not bring in more of a crowd. I thought the Seth Green line was going to be out the fucking door on Saturday. And
that's what I thought too.
Yeah, it was like 15, 20 people deep. And I'm like, okay. I mean, Seth Green obviously is being very cool and he was interacting with everybody. Everybody came away with good stories.
Awesome. I love his photo ops. Seth Green had the best photo ops of any con I've ever seen.
Seth had his line was never. I mean, it never got insanely deep.
Yeah.
But there were always people in it. There were always, you know, at least 2 rows of people waiting for him. So it didn't matter when you went. If he wasn't having his panel, there were always people on that line. So
you're gonna wait an hour
he's
in
clearly
line.
A draw.
You were gonna wait an hour in line, but it wasn't because it was an hour's worth of people. It was the fact that he was spending so much time with each person that literally his manager was having to tell him, okay, it's been 5 minutes. We got more people, because he would just sit there and he was just going with people and
with everybody.
Giving them their money's worth. And that, like, I gotta give him to that, because I mean, Joe was in tears when he got back to his booth. Like, I just spent 10 minutes talking to Seth Green about all this shit. Like, it's fucking amazing.
Absolutely. And Perry just brought up a good thing, Jack Osborne, and that's someone I was shocked there was not a line for Jack Osborne.
Why would there be a line for Jack Osborne? Seriously, I mean, I'm going to be honest. Dad. Who the fuck gives a damn about Jack Osborne? I get it. He's got a famous dad. He's got a travel show with his dad. He had a reality show with his dad. No one gives a fuck about Jack Osborne. Sorry.
You know, if I had more money, I would have loved to have chatted with him. just because it's the stories he must have growing
yeah.
the fucking Prince of Darkness as a father, But whatever. But Robin Tunney was absolutely darling. And again, I walked right up. I was shocked that a lot of these celebrities really didn't have like a long line. Ron Perlman, I heard a story about Ron Perlman. Saturday, he wasn't very pleasant. I saw from a few people that he was kind of grumpy, let's say.
Yeah, I heard it was basically one of those, hi, how you doing, bye. Hi, how you doing, bye.
Which is
He
disappointing.
wasn't very charming.
Ha ha! If you got that, then you know. But yeah, it's haha. But yeah, it's Sunday. Apparently that changed. I heard from someone that was his handler, and he had said that apparently I guess there was something with his flight, and he was in a bad mood. Sunday was completely different. Apparently Sunday he was chatting with everyone. He was dancing with people. So
The big white monkey was out and about.
Big white monkey.
That's what I call him. He's the big white gorilla. That's what he looks like.
That's funny.
And then, of course, in Hellboy, they called him the big red monkey. So
That's true.
that's kind of funny. But I was there on Sunday, and he seemed okay. I didn't get a chance to go really talk to him, but I watched his panel, and he seemed like he was in a better mood.
You know what? I mean, here's the reality. It would be nice if they were always on their A game, but ultimately celebs are actually human. So sometimes they're just gonna have a bad day. I mean, we're not all dazzling like me 24/7, which was a complete lie. But that's
But it is a good reminder, though, to remember that these celebrities aren't like monkeys in a cage, even if it's a big white monkey. They're not monkeys in a cage. They are people just like you, and they can have bad moods, they can have bad days. It happens. It happens. But I'm glad to hear that actually Sunday he was much nicer to everybody. So I mean, who? Okay, Tom Atkins. Oh my God. I mean, if you like Halloween 3 at all, the guy is a fucking icon. Like Rob said, I mean, epic fucking mustache.
He's a mustache icon.
Oh yeah.
He really is.
Oh, it's one of those. He looks exactly like what my grandpa did, and that. So anytime I see him, like he looks exactly like my grandpa, and so I just think of a detective every time I see him.
It is a detective mustache. That is true. Yeah. It's a definitely detective mustache. He was super cool. Turns out, one of the guys that was in Halloween 3 was my friend's dad growing up in this really small town in New Jersey. So we were talking, and he passed away in like 92. But yeah, I was talking to Tom about him. Tom sat there for about 15 minutes telling me stories about how they used to go to the city and grab cabs and go to piano bars and all this other stuff. And as I walked away, he came over to me for a photo. So I'm just like, that's fucking amazing. That was really fun. So, I mean, did you guys meet anybody else? Speaking of,
we didn't meet anybody.
Well, I met Rainn Wilson, so that was friggin' awesome. He was about a half an hour getting back from his, I don't know what he was doing. I don't know if he had his photo op, and then I guess he was backstage doing a whole bunch of different stuff with a bunch of people. But when he finally showed back up, his line wasn't crazy long, which surprised me. We got there at about noon on Sunday, and his line probably had maybe 50 to 75 people in it at that time. And so I was like, oh, we'll just wait. And then I wandered around, said hi to everybody, and went back over to the celebrity area, and he was gone. And this was kind of cool. We went up there, and there was absolutely nobody waiting for him, obviously, because he wasn't there. But they gave us tickets, kind of like, Horror Nights, when they give you a ticket at the back of the line, and then you give it to them at the end of the line, and so they can measure the timing, I guess. But we were like the fifth and sixth ticket that we got. And when he came back, there was the regular line, the VIP line, and then this ticket line was let in before the VIPs and before the skip the line people. So I got to see him. I was fifth in line, and it was really cool. And he was very, very nice. I'm sure everybody saw the video of, I had it all set up to where he was going to FaceTime with Angie and all that stuff. She didn't answer her phone, so I got him to do a video for me. And he was just super cool. I was sitting there, and I called her like 6 times, and she didn't pick up. So I'm just standing there at the edge of his table trying to make this phone call, and he's just taking people and taking people and taking people, and he kept asking me, "Did you get a hold of her? Did you get a hold of her?" I'm like, "No, not yet, not yet. She's not answering." And I was like, "All right, can you just do a video for me real quick?" And he's like, "Yeah, man, go for it. Let me know when you go." And I shot it, and it was done. And he shook my hand, and he fist bump, and he was like, "Dude, it was great to meet you." And I was like, "Thank you for everything," and I walked off.
So, do we have a Dwight mug anywhere in the future?
There's a possibility. Maybe. I've got other mugs in the works right now that are going to be obviously first.
Yeah, and Perry is giving us his thoughts as well, because we were hanging out with Perry.
Yeah,
there.
real quick, Perry's gonna drop some Tom facts for us. So Tom told us his favorite movie was Night of the Creeps. And now we know.
Robin Tunney was absolutely fantastic. Bonnie Aaron, yeah, and just all the photos I've seen with everybody, everyone's having a good time, and that's really the key to all of it. Everyone seemed like they were having a good time. Rob, do we have that video of because Boris went around with his little stick whatever of the line there?
Yeah. Let me just make sure I get the right one here. All right, hold on. Don't look at my face as I get really close because I can't see shit anymore.
Are we going to post your Spookala pictures? Yes, I already posted them. They are on the original guide, Spooky Guide page.
All right, so
just
this is
you'll see them there.
All right, so here you go.
That's the photo offline. Who needs a drone when you have a stick camera?
Where's has got the fun toys?
So.
Yeah, Boris has always got the fun toys. It's always fun seeing his perspective when he does those things. But yeah, so I mean, I didn't really hear a negative story about anybody except for Ron Perlman the one day, which it sucks if unfortunately because Perry just said in the chat as well that he was rude to Brian as well, which that sucks.
Yeah.
What are you?
It's a shame.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? But and so speaking of tickets that Matt was talking about, one of the things they did that we thought was really, really interesting was they brought these punch cards.
That is a cool idea too.
Rob, you were reaching over. I didn't know if you had one next to you there.
No, I don't. I either threw them out. I think I threw them out of Bojangles actually.
But it was an incentive to buy from the vendors. Now, it was a great idea, and I think because we've talked amongst ourselves, and we think we have ways we could probably improve the system. But it was kind of like a Subway sub card where you get so many punches, and then you get like free merch at the Spookala booth, or whatever. Yeah,
from what I heard, it was only a poster though, and actually the VIPs already got that poster, so it was like it wasn't particularly exciting for them. But, depending on how much you have to spend for those punch cards, poster might be fine. But if you made those punches fairly expensive, you could even give away like a T-shirt or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of different ways that you definitely could do it. It's a great idea and a great incentive to, for people to spend money at the vendors.
Yeah. Josh, heads up. We shop. We didn't do a ton of shopping, but I think we went to at least 2 different vendors and. Yeah, I forgot to get it punched both times, and I think after a while I looked at it, I was like, I wasn't going to go to enough vendors for it anyway. So
yeah, it was a quick day trip for us. So, but and y'all know Jen Belak, she's fucking fantastic. So she did this, and this was my one big purchase, which is why I'm sitting here eating cheesy tuna pasta.
Yeah, I mean she had 2 of those devil.
This is the less Hungarian one.
The other one was very Hungarian looking. I didn't care for it, so we passed. Perhaps there's someone out there who is more fond of the Hungarian male face. I'm not, so we passed.
But yeah, so that was really cool. And they're now Matt can go into this further. When it comes to the vendors, there were some. Let's see, how do I put it? Varying, contrasting opinions, and I think it got kind of ugly there for a while. But I think things have figured out from a vendor standpoint. Matt, what did you think?
Well, the crowd was definitely not there. I would have thought there was going to be a lot more people there, especially on Sunday, having Ron Perlman, Seth Green, and Rainn Wilson. And Seth Green and Rainn Wilson do not do shows.
No, they do
That's
not.
not a thing they do. You know, me and my buddy Richard were looking it up on our way home, and you know, Rainn Wilson charges $75,000 for an appearance fee just for one day.
Wow.
So, and then his autograph was 100 and selfies were 80. So, you know, he's a high priced guy. So I really would have thought, you know, so a lot of cons aren't going to be able to afford him is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Ironically, I would be hard pressed to believe if I didn't know about The Office that, you know, the star of the Super, you know, that guy's charging that. You're kidding
Rockstar,
me?
Man.
Rockstar and, you know, House of a
The
Thousand Corpses.
Rockstar or something
He's
like that.
Fish Boy. He's Fish Boy from House of a
Fish
Thousand
Boy.
Corpses.
Yeah.
Always Fish Boy.
But yeah, I mean, I really would have thought there would be more people there. There was plenty of room in the aisles. It was not badly set up at all. I just thought it was weird that the crowd was so tiny.
Yeah, and I think the other issue that most of the vendors had, apparently there were a lot of resellers, you know, the Funko Pops and the T-shirts.
Yeah, Funko Pops were everywhere.
Yeah, and unfortunately that does take away from the actual artisans that actually do these things.
Yeah.
There was one vendor I did want to bring up though. I mean, if our producer can cue up the video, there were a couple of vendors. There were a lot of them that were from Spooky, you know, Joe Boykin, you know, the B-Lax, History, and yeah, a lot of them, which was really fucking awesome. But yeah, there was one I definitely wanted to walk.
Oh, this stuff is cool. Yeah. Oh shit! All right. My absolute new favorite booth. Okay, this is. Oh my God, Rob!
Yes, honey.
You got to come in here.
Apparently,
Yeah. Oh my God. That is out fucking standing.
Way better than the Christmas Story.
Did you see the vendor that had the 3D sculpted caricatures?
Yes,
That guy was awesome.
that guy was really
I wish
cool.
I remembered his name, and I can't. For anyone who remembers it, basically he had the wooden tiki statue or tiki carvings with.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Oh, they were.
Oh, that guy,
I don't
yeah,
remember his
that one
name,
as
but
well.
those
That one was
were-
really
those were
cool.
Beautiful.
And then my buddy Harrison, he did the Leathercraft, GB Leathercraft or Leatherworks. He did like they had the coffin backpack that he had made and all that stuff. That guy, I've known that dude forever.
It's very steampunk.
And-
I loved it.
Yeah, he'll do some custom work for you. That guy can make some stuff out of leather. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, that's a fucking fan. Okay,
I
let's see.
think I've seen his. Do you
Tampa
know
Bay
if he,
Streams. Okay.
if he gets a booth at the Tampa or the Bay Area Renaissance Festival?
Probably that's what he told me he's been doing a lot of. I've met him
I
originally.
remember something very similar, some jackets with that kind of style, and I just remember like, well, that's creepy as hell.
Well, I remember I met him at. We were back when I was with the coffee shop. We would do Mount Dora on Sundays or Saturdays for their farmers market out there, and they started out there, and we just became friends through that.
He's
He
super
did Spooky one time and stuff like that, but he's doing mainly Renaissance festivals and stuff. So he's getting his stuff out there, and he's killing it.
That's fucking awesome. I love going to these shows because that's the whole thing. Let's face it, you can buy fucking pops on Amazon and eBay and shit like that. When you go to these shows, you're going for one of a kind items, you know,
Mhm.
like non-Hungarian devil here. You know, you're not finding that on Etsy. So, but that's
Mhm.
there were you had to go through the shit of the Funko Pops and the T-shirts to find them, but they were there. So, I mean, I don't know if there's a way to like screen them because I know Spooky's really good about that of picking and choosing the vendors per show because, you know, every time you go in the vendor room at Spooky, you know, you're always seeing something different.
Right.
So, but all right. I mean, actually, you know what? Cosplay. Our favorite cosplay, and I think we were unanimous on this.
Candyman.
Yeah, if producer can pull up our.
It was amazing. It was absolutely
And-
amazing. I don't
and
know
I've never seen it
if
done.
they met, but he
think
had
this is
it
it.
spot on.
I don't think so. Nope. Actually, that right there was the line for Wage War, which was really interesting because I didn't know that this really had a huge cult following. That was one
They're
of the
from
longest
Ocala.
times we were there That was the Wage of War merch booth.
And they're from Ocala. That's why that they would have a big crowd. Because that's their hometown.
Yeah, I don't know anything about them.
They're like our next A Day to Remember.
Okay.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but I was shocked to see like a long line. I mean, granted, I don't know anything about them, so. But
I don't either. They're not dwarven metal, so I don't know.
Yeah, I learned today there's something called dwarven metal. Which Eddie,
Oh,
if you're
yeah.
watching, how are you not in a dwarven metal band? But
I was gonna say my boss came in today as I was singing along to Diggy Diggy Hole. Last time in the hallway. He's like, "What the hell is this?" And I'm like, "I'm sorry, it's something weird. It's dwarven metal." He's like, "What?" And I'm like, "You won't get it."
It's dwarf metal. It's awesome. It's right up there with Viking metal.
Yes.
yeah,
And it's funny because me and him are the same height. I'm like, "You should like it, Kyle. You should like it."
fucking hilarious. But yeah, while our producer is picking up, yeah, I mean there were
Yeah,
other
hold
like,
on, got it right here.
okay. And if y'all
Hold
haven't
on.
seen this, oh my god, it's one of the best cosplays I've seen in quite a long time. I mean, he had the details down. Click, click, click. There he is.
Oh yeah, it was wonderful.
I was just standing there, just admiring just everything from the hook to the black scaleras to just all of it.
I saw him from behind at first, and I was like, "Oh man, he's doing a Candyman." And he turned around, and was like, "Sabrina, look at this shit! Holy shit, look at this!"
Yeah, this
Like,
is a
and
guy
he
that was,
he nailed it. He nailed it.
yeah, he needs to come to Spooky and do the costume contest because that was just fucking beautiful. He really did a great fucking job. Okay, let's see. There was cosplay. There was the music. Ah, yes, food. I think this is something we can all agree on. Convention center.
Wait. Speaking of food, before we talk about the not so good food news, they had Jason pretzels.
Mm-hmm. Well, we use that term loosely, very loosely.
Yeah, I thought it was pizza dough.
It was dry and crusty, and apparently they didn't put any salt on them, and they were super expensive. I think it was like $14 pizzas, and I think those were like $7 or something. It was fucking
A
expensive.
can of soda was only $3, which I thought was fair.
The pizza was I didn't personally buy the pizza. My friend bought the pizza, then had one slice and proceeded to give it to me because I'm like, well, fuck, I'll eat it. Like, yeah. Then I was
Give
like,
it to Mikey. He'll eat anything.
Pretty much, yeah.
And Mikey did not like it. I was like, it tasted and felt like I just opened a bag of flour, stuck my tongue into it, and like,
Ew!
yep, it was bad.
And
It
overpriced as
bad.
well.
Oh yeah, I there was barely. I don't even think there was sauce on it. If there was, I think it was ketchup.
Ew!
And then the pepperoni, man, the way they curled up, it looked like straight on nipples on there, and they sucked.
And that's an interesting thing though, because with things like that, it's like the big answer is okay, food trucks. But I know these convention centers very often don't allow outside food. So what do you do? So what the solution to it is?
Starve, apparently. I mean, look, just
Bring your own food.
No,
I have
at that
preached-
point, go, just walk out of the building, go to the horse stables. The horses are getting better food than you fucking are.
Share the oats. Yeah, I mean, I have preached don't eat convention center food, whether it's
We all
Orange
have.
County Convention Center,
Yep.
Most hotel food for the record, and then the
The Wyndham,
barnyard
do not
food.
do in the hallway at the Wyndham. Don't ever eat that.
Hey, no, at this point, Gatorville was like a 5-star Michelin rated like thing compared to this, okay?
Yeah. That kind of gets me to like, this is the my one really like negative for Spookala is the location, not the venue per se, but I mean, here's the thing.
Location and the food, but yeah.
Well, the food is and that kind of goes like, that's more on the venue, I suppose. But it's like if you wanted to go get food, you're getting in your car, you're driving 15 minutes away. Unless you want to just settle for the Circle K that's 5 minutes away.
Which I did, and they actually got Subway
I mean,
inside.
roller food's even better than that.
Okay, 1 second. You guys got to explain something to me because, granted, I don't make it to that area often. Why is there like Circle K literally like every corner?
because
Because
Polar
we don't
Pops
have
are only
7-Elevens?
79¢.
They're like literally everywhere. We saw one literally
Because
across from another.
Polar Pops, extra large Polar Pops are only 79¢. That's why.
Good deal. It's a good deal.
It's a really good deal. You get 44 ounces of the great goodness for only 79¢.
Yeah,
No, it's on the drive home though. Like we noticed, like Circle K. So we just started counting the Circle Ks as we drove through kind of the
if you did the
middle,
drinking game, forget it. You're blackout.
the more rural area of the state, and it's just like, all right, if by some chance you came to a crossroads, there's going to be a Circle K every single time.
It was, yeah.
It's like 7-Eleven here in Orlando. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Let's say we have one 7-Eleven in this county, and I don't even go there. I go to Circle K.
A lot of Circle Ks, a lot of Dollar Trees on that drive home. That's the
Yep. No, not Dollar Tree.
Dollar Tree.
Dollar General. Excuse me, Dollar General. Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. But going back, that's what I really don't like about that venue, because it's not meant for a convention like this. At the end of the day, it's like there is a fancy schmancy hotel, I guess, on property. But if you want to just get away from the con, you don't really have a lot of options. Like you can't go back to your hotel room. You can't even go to a lobby per se. You can go stand outside. That's the only downtime you get, unless you're willing to go to the parking lot.
It's 98 degrees outside. Yeah.
Yeah, and I like getting away from stuff. So that's not an option at this show. Again,
if you had a social anxiety or something, there was really nowhere for you to escape to really handle. To get yourself together. So
you could go go have a panic attack on Blood Bus.
You could.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. They did have the Blood Bus, which is always good to see. So that was really cool. But yeah, I mean, all things considered, I mean, it was pretty much in the plus column, and it was very laid back. Everybody had a good time. I think things are going to be very, very different come October, because Tampa is a completely different demographic. Let's be honest.
Honest to God, though, a lot of my complaints about this show are still going to happen in Tampa.
Why is that?
Because, first of all, the food thing. There really isn't a lot of great food options out and around by the convention center. There's more. I mean, there's certainly more that's, a couple-minute walk, but there's not great ones.
And I'm going to tell you this, because this is where they have SharkCon, and the food there is fucking terrible.
Yeah. So,
it's absolutely terrible.
You're in a similar situation, and again, you don't have a hotel to retire to, if I'm not mistaken.
But there is a Hard Rock right behind it, and then there's a Wawa at the next block over.
And across the street, because it's at the fairgrounds, right?
At the amphitheater, behind the amphitheater.
Yeah. So because for next weekend when we're for the Misfits show, we're staying at the La Quinta, literally right across the street from it. And you can walk to it, but yeah, you literally gotta walk that way across the street.
Real quick fun fact about the La Quinta.
Oh God!
When years ago, like in the '90s, for whatever reason, or maybe even going to the '80s, there was always a huddle house or a kettle. Like, does anyone remember the restaurant, the Kettle?
No, I remember Howard Johnson's, but
okay. Well, anyway, they always had one. We just assumed that La Quinta was Spanish for next to the kettle, because they were always bam bam. So anyway, just thought I'd share.
Well, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Yeah. But this does bring into question, for those of you that are planning on going to Spookala in October, and we'll talk about this again, because it's at some of our dais knows about that venue, so we can definitely prepare you guys for that. Absolutely.
While we're at SharkCon, I'll take video of the area, because it's literally the same spot. So I'll take video of the venue itself in July.
And I'll take video of the La Quinta.
There you go.
La Quinta,
Yes.
pizza, whatever. Yeah.
La
All I know
Quinta.
is we're staying there for free that night, so it's okay.
Oh, yeah.
But that'll be good, and we know they have a massive lineup for October, and so we know a lot of you are excited about that, which is cool. Now, I know it's the guy that owns Ocala Comic-Con as well. Now, is Ocala Comic-Con at the Equestrian Center as well? Does anyone know?
Yeah.
It's the same venue.
Yeah, it's the same place.
Okay, and I don't remember when that necessarily is, but that's something that we're looking into as well. Before we wrap up, and I think everybody's pretty much echoed everything that we've seen from the majority of the fans as well. So yeah, it was good. There's always room for improvement. There's always room for growth. But because we are the fan collective, we've all seen the drama to some variety or another. And we know it's usually very small groups that are very vocal. The majority of the fans don't give a shit because, and I think we speak for most of the fans, with if you're going to go and have a good time, go and have a good time. The world is on fucking fire. Petty little high school bullshit, passive aggressive, blah, 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 whatever, is dumb.
Yeah.
And think about it. Step back, look at it, look how fucking childish it all is. And it doesn't even matter who we're talking about. We're not spies. This isn't passive aggressive, blah, blah, blah. We're all just here to have a good time.
I am.
There's plenty to go around. The smart thing would be is to put a little bit more time between all four. So people can save money.
That is a great point because that I did see that from a number of other people that are thinking that the cons were too close together in dates.
Or like I had brought up, an idea back in the day before. This was before Spooky. This is obviously long before Spookala. This is back when MegaCon was still a good show to go to, and there was a little show called the FX Toy Show.
I remember.
And they would have it at the Orlando Fairgrounds. And that's where I first met George Romero. That's the first place I ever met Robert Englund. The guy who played Jason for Freddy vs. Jason was there. Mm-hmm. And then there was a bunch of kids from Harry Potter. And there was a bunch of people from Star Wars. And it was really cool. It was a eclectic.
Yeah, it was more pop culture as opposed to.
Yeah. So, honestly, and you could just turn it into, you got your big comic show. Why not just make it your big everything show?
Yeah.
And bring it all in one thing.
And that's
just a thought.
Well, I will say that this fall is going to get nasty as, people are going to have to make choices with their wallet because we do have Phantasm, which, I don't think more than a dozen people have been going to Phantasm for the last couple of years. But, I think they're going to be in September or the late August. Then you've got, two other horror shows, Spooky and Spookala, Tampa.
Fanboy Expo, and there's a whole bunch within like a 2-month period.
Yeah, it's a short time for a lot of that. So
it's going to be very competitive. That's very true. But, just to throw it out there for whoever's listening, Rob has talked about this before, but, kind of to piggyback off of what Matt said, pop culture or even just retro cult cinema. Yep. There was the show we saw, Cult Cinema in Jacksonville, and it was amazing. Just all these old school retro stars.
Well, that's what Killer Theater does up in Jersey.
Yeah.
They don't get huge, gigantic names. They get some random people.
Yeah. Well, they do a good.
Like, oh shit! I love that movie. I'm going to go see that.
They do a great mix of big names, but then they also get these like, hey, this was the fluffer on the set of the world's biggest gangbang 2. They get really interesting people. So
a buddy of mine was just up at Chiller this last show, and Michael Oliver, who was the kid who played Problem Child, he was there.
Yeah. Oh, real quick.
I was like, oh shit, that's awesome.
Promoters who might be watching. In the event, I can only do one show. If you would like to guarantee my attendance, Andrew Dice Clay.
There we go.
Yeah. Andrew Dice Clay. Like, seriously, Clay.
I'm going to let the penises take over for a minute.
Hey, Will.
And make him do a shadow cast of Fort Fairlane. Boom. 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 You got me.
Fort Fairlane the musical.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
But
there we go.
You know who's not alive on that movie anymore? Gilbert Godfrey.
That's
a shame.
Yeah.
We're not going to end on a down note, though.
Actually, I will not end on a down note. I will end on 2 notes. Real quick, for those of you who, Jared, no one. I don't think anyone is going to miss the 20th anniversary.
20th anniversary, which we are getting into the next episode. This one was basically we wanted to share our thoughts on Spookala.
Yeah, so real quick, there's going to be one more short episode probably this time next week. For those of you who are gamers out there, E3 used to be held right around this time. E3 is essentially dead.
Gone. Yeah, but Microsoft just did their showcase.
Microsoft did their showcase. Nintendo's got something coming up next week. Capcom, Ubisoft also did theirs like last week or the start of this week. basically all the developers are still releasing their new games in this next 2-week period. So I'm going to basically pull all of the horror game trailers I can get my hands on that have been announced. There's a mix of good stuff. There's a mix of shit. And I'm just going to show it off, and we're going to watch these trailers together. So if anyone wants to join, again, I'll give you 24, 48 hours notice before it happens. But
Did I see an Alan Wake 2?
Alan
coming
Wake
in?
2, digital only, though. You can't buy it in the stores. You got to download it.
I love that game. That was a
And
fun
actually, I
game.
think it might even already be out, or it's on the verge of coming out like right now. It's real close.
Great
one
game.
thing with horror games and digital only and all that shit. So the Friday the 13th game that's been out for a bit, they officially just announced that they are not this December 23rd of this year.
They're losing their license.
The license of the game. So once that happens, you will no longer be able to buy it digitally or physically brand new. So like if you get a pre-owned physical copy, but you won't be able to buy a digital copy of it. So now
I don't think you're going to be able to play it online either. That's
not
the big...
online. You'll be able to play it on.
They said they'll keep their servers going.
Yeah,
Okay.
They said they're going to keep their servers up for a little bit, but it's not going to be forever.
But the good news is they've discounted the game to $5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So
the
if you
game's
don't have
$5, and then all DLC is only 99¢.
Yes. So get that.
But the great thing is Texas Chainsaw's coming out, and that's basically the same game. So that is going to be awesome.
See, now that's something that really hasn't been represented on the HorrorCon circuit that we've seen. I know there have been times where there's been like a game or two in the vendor room that you can actually play, like a demo or whatever. Because I remember there was like Jason was playing something like
Manhunt 2.
Manhunt 2, yeah.
It was the funniest damn picture I've ever gotten at the show.
Yeah, when Jason's playing Manhunt. So, it's I think we'd like to see more representation for the horror gamers out there. So if anyone's listening.
Horror gamers, next week, tune in, and we're going to go through some fun stuff, including the piece of shit looking game that that John Carpenter has put his name on. So that'll be fun. We'll talk.
Yeah. But the just on an ending note, do the whole Jerry Springer's final thoughts thing, and y'all can speak as well. But just to put a point on it, let's just all get along. Let's all just stop.
Get along.
Can we all get along?
Seriously, it's nonsense. It's silly. This whole picking sides, blah blah blah, whatever. Just
go spend your money where you want to go spend your money and go have fucking fun and deal with it. Leave everybody alone. Jesus Christ.
Let's all go to a whorehouse.
Yeah.
Woo!
Dude, let's do that.
Yeah,
Yes.
there's a pretty good one in a little tiny one in Texas.
And Jared, thank you for watching, dude, because that's what we are here, to represent you guys. So
my final thought is I have to also say happy birthday, Sabrina. Tomorrow's your birthday.
And happy birthday, Sabrina. Where is she?
Happy birthday, Sabrina.
Yeah, she's sitting next to me, but she just got out of the shower, so I can't show her on camera.
Oh, she's no fun.
Yeah. But I do have this. I like a lovely bunch of coconuts. Look at them sitting in a row. Boom, boom.
Well, on that.
That's our outro, ladies and gentlemen.
Good
Thank
night,
you guys
folks.
for joining us. See you next week.
Yeah.
Bye.